The path you've tread is riddled with so many bumps and distractions. It's as wide as can be. You can be the kindest person there is. This stands out as one of my favorite quotes from Vagabond. It perfectly captures the journey of many characters within the manga, but is also a quote that everybody reading could think about within their own lives. For me, reading this made me question the way I've lived my life. It made me think about my own mistakes and why I make them. If you ever sense the danger ahead, yet seem powerless to step away, it's a feeling as haunting as a moth's fatal dance around a flame, unaware or perhaps unable to resist the heat that awaits. This strange pull toward ruin isn't unique amongst moths. We humans share it too. It's not uncommon to hear people speak about their worst impulses. In fact, many of us know exactly what we are doing wrong, yet continue to do it anyway. Vagabond by Takehiko Inoue is a deeply philosophical work of art that explores many aspects of the human condition. In particular, it examines the way we are drawn to self-destructive tendencies and the possibility of breaking free. This theme is embodied in the journey of Musashi, a swordsman whose relentless pursuit of strength forces him to confront the cycles of violence he creates. In the early chapters of Vagabond, Musashi roams Japan as a masterless swordsman, cutting down countless opponents in his relentless pursuit of invincibility. Recklessly, he hurls himself into battle after battle, thinking only of becoming invincible, and ignoring the cost of his actions. Over time, he faces not only physical challenges but deep mental ones, questioning the destructive path he's chosen. Despite encountering figures that challenge his outlook, Musashi struggles to break free from his harmful tendencies. This changes when he confronts an old adversary, Tsuchikaze Kohei, a pivotal encounter that forces Musashi to confront the cycle of violence head-on. They cross blades and throw themselves headfirst into a deathmatch until Musashi finally understands Kohei's weapon and eventually cuts him down. At that moment, Kohei utters one of the most important lines of the manga. "I'm through with it. The spiral of death and killing." The moment he says this, we sense something shift within Musashi. These words struck something deeply buried within his heart. While reading this, I realized how often I feel like a spectator in my own life. I can see my mistakes coming almost in slow motion, and yet despite knowing better, I can't seem to avoid them. It's a dizzying sensation, as if I'm caught in a spiral I can't break free from. During Kohei's battle with Musashi, he compares them to moths, drawn to death and bloodshed just as the moth is lured by flame. In that moment, I couldn't help but see myself in the same light, circling closer to ruin yet unable to resist its pull. This recurring image of the moth is central to Vagabond, symbolizing the cycles of struggle and transformation that his characters experience. Moths are a prominent theme throughout the run of Vagabond and offer insight into many of the characters we see. They represent the seemingly unbreakable cycle many of the characters find themselves trapped in due to their choices and way of life. Just as the moth finds itself caught in a death spiral around the fire, many characters in Vagabond find themselves trapped in a downward path of their nature. Despite this, Vagabond is a story about change, about learning to live a better life despite the failures and missteps of your past. Consequently, we watch as many characters eventually escape that path and go on to become better men. Kohei is among the first to break free from the cycle. His life was shaped by hatred and suffering, beginning with rejection by his mother and abuse at the hands of his brother. Thrust into the life of a bandit, he became a product of his environment, a man consumed by violence and indulgence. He lived out of pure hatred for his brother, and once that too was taken from him, he wanted nothing more than to search for a place to die. However, everything changes when he meets Rindo, the child of a man he murdered. Like him, she was a victim of the world, born into banditry and abuse. Through Rindo, Kohei glimpsed a life beyond the violence and opened himself up to change, even taking a blade to protect her. Putting aside his pride, Kohei begged for mercy so that Rindo wouldn't be abandoned. Though his life ends in tragedy, he still manages to escape the spiral in the end. After losing his ability to hold a sword, he casts it away, choosing the life of a better man. Kohei's ultimate act of selflessness, sacrificing himself for another, reveals how connection can help us transcend our darkest impulses. Kohei's story of breaking free from the cycle of violence is mirrored, and in some ways expanded upon by another character, Kamenaki Jisai. Introduced shortly after Kohei's battle with Musashi, Jisai's journey offers another perspective on the life of a man devoted to the sword. He was once a revered master swordsman, yet we meet him as a lonely old man waiting for death. Similarly to Musashi, he was entirely dedicated to the pursuit of the sword, living for nothing else and forgoing any human connection, which consequently broke him. Like a moth, he was firmly set in a death spiral, signed to die a lonely death. This changes when he becomes an adoptive father to Kojiro. Fatherhood gave Jisai a purpose, allowing him to look beyond himself and form bonds, not only with his son but also with the villagers he once shunned. He threw away his pride as a samurai and begged for food, help, and work, all to provide for his son. Gradually, Jisai breaks free from the shell he created for himself and finds new purpose in becoming a better man. Like Kohei, Jisai escaped the spiral he was stuck in by opening himself up to the world and casting away his pride. His transformation mirrors the overarching themes of humility and connection, both of which culminate in the journey of Vagabond's central character. While both Kohei and Jisai offer powerful examples of transformation, it is Musashi's journey that lies at the heart of Vagabond. His path exemplifies the struggle to break free from self-destruction and find new purpose beyond oneself. As we walk with him in his pursuit of strength, we see his many triumphs and shortcomings. Musashi too finds himself caught in a spiral of destruction, his pride and desire for invincibility blinding him to everything else. Like Kohei and Jisai, Musashi's path ultimately leads him to the realization that something must change. Later in the story, when the lessons of his journey begin to take shape, Musashi recalls the moment his illusion of strength began to crumble. It was his encounter with Kohei. This meeting forced him to confront the self-destructive nature of his actions and made him question almost everything. Ultimately, this deep introspection culminates in what many consider the best part of the story, the farm arc. In this arc, everything Musashi learns starts to come to true fruition. As Musashi cultivates barren land during the farm arc, he mirrors the very act of renewal and growth he seeks for himself. Each physical effort, turning soil, planting seeds, symbolizes his shift from destruction to creation. His pride as an invincible swordsman is almost entirely snuffed out. Instead, we see Musashi practice kindness, letting go of his selfishness and dedicating himself to something greater than his own ambitions, forming a bond with the boy he took upon himself to care for, and reconnecting with the world around him. Before the farm arc, Musashi vowed to abandon his destructive path, and by the end of the arc, he does just that, transforming not through a climactic battle, but through quiet persistence and connection to the world around him. His shift from destruction to creation mirrors the story's central theme of redemption. Musashi's journey embodies a universal truth. Growth is never linear and rarely easy. It's a series of small, often painful steps, accompanied by failure and reflection. Vagabond reminds us that change, no matter how distant, is always within reach. Like the moth drawn to the flame, we too are often pulled towards choices that we know will harm us. Yet, the story teaches us that even in the depths of pride, self-sabotage, or despair, we possess the power to pause, reflect, and take a different path. Through its characters, Vagabond reveals that true strength lies not in perfection or invincibility, but in the courage to confront our flaws, let go of destructive patterns, and embrace humility, purpose, and connection. This message resonates beyond the pages of Vagabond and invites us to look inward. As I reflect on the journeys of the characters we've seen, I'm reminded of the many times I felt like a moth circling a flame, repeating the same mistakes even when I know better. Something I love about Vagabond is how the character arcs are treated. There's never one defining moment that makes a character completely change. Its characters, like us, stumble and fall repeatedly, their progress marked by triumphs and setbacks. Even still, the manga reassures us that no spiral is absolute. Change comes in small, deliberate choices we make every day. Whether we're forging new connections, abandoning destructive habits, or simply choosing kindness, these minor shifts can guide us towards a life that transcends our past. In that sense, the battles and triumphs of Vagabond aren't just confined to its pages. They're a universal testament to our capacity for growth. If a lone swordsman trapped by pride can transform barren land into a thriving field, perhaps we too can cultivate the seeds of change within ourselves and grow into something greater.